Welcome back to another episode of Tractor Roy. My name is Trent. This is our Farmall 300. We have some issues in our hydraulic pump. We blew one of the seals or O-rings in here, so we got oil that's leaking into the distributor drive housing here. There's oil coming out of our grease cert, which isn't supposed to happen. We got oil traveling up of our tack cable, and it's starting to leak out back there. And our 3-point, our fast hitch doesn't move anymore. So we got to take off our distributor, our oil feed lines, and our pressure line and our suction line from the reservoir. We got to dig into this pump and see what's going on. I don't know if it's the case on these 300s, but I know on other Farmalls there's different brands of pumps. So you got to get the numbers off that pump before you order a rebuild kit for it. As far as I can tell, the one for this, before I look into it any farther, is like $90 to replace it. I'm hoping that I can just replace those O-rings and those lip seals and then call it good, because this thing was running great, but I think it got deadheaded by somebody when we were going through a ditch or whatever and blew out those O-rings. So the first thing we're going to do is remove our distributor and our distributor drive housing. To do that, we just have to pull off these spark plug wires. 4 of them, because it's 4-cylinder. You don't have to deal with the one going to the coil because it comes off as a unit. You can take off just the distributor from this bolt here and one bolt here on this backside, but we don't need to. We're just going to take it off as a whole housing. That doesn't change the timing as long as you leave these two on there. This is where you adjust the timing, so anytime you remove those, it changes things. Since we have to get into this hydraulic pump anyways, we're going to take off the bolts here and right here. On a magneto, this is how you change the timing. You loosen up the bottom one, loosen up the top, and it'll rotate in this top hole just a little bit. On a distributor, it comes back here. So anyways, if we take off these two bolts right here, we don't change the timing of it. We can remove this, fix our hydraulic pump, stick it right back on. You don't have to retime anything. In our case, we're going to be rebuilding this distributor in another video anyways, so it's not the end of the world. So we'll take off these two, and we'll take off our lines, at least removing these 3 bolts here from our hydraulic pump so we can get a little more room. I'm hoping that these have enough flex we can kind of just pull it out of the way and I don't have to take them off up at the other end yet. Now once we got the distributor off of there, our intake and return, our pressure and suction lines off of our pump, there's 4 bolts, one here, one back here, here, and here. And now this thing should just, it's meshed in with those gears under the front cover here, so yeah, there you go, just like that. I did just realize on this too, since you can only go one of 2 ways to drive the distributor, we're gonna have to retime this thing, which is fine. Oh yeah, you see, it's not supposed to have hydraulic fluid in there. So we'll clean everything up. Everything will have to be retimed when we go to put this back together. So hydraulics, what am I trying to say here? Hydraulic oil things have very tight tolerances. Not quite as tight as diesel stuff. But we want to make sure we plug those up, and then I'm going to spray everything down pretty good before we go to dig into this. But I got some caps so we can plug those. Okay, we got the fold over lock bent down. Oh, I loosened up that. I should just be able to get this junk off of here now. I can't imagine that this isn't just a slip or slip fit, because there's a key here. Okay, we have this gear pulled off of there. Couple of common things that could happen. Apparently my way, where it's leaking into the distributor housing, going through the tack cable, coming out through the grease cert ports. And the other one is this seal can go out right here, and it can leak a bunch of oil into your engine. The 300 utility that I used to have had one of these pumps on it, and previous owner, they had to have the hydraulic pump rebuilt because that seal went out. So then it just dumped a whole bunch of hydraulic oil into their engine, and yeah, just no good. On this side, there's a little screw goes in the center of this, it'll look like that in there. So you pull that screw out. This is just a slip fit, as you can see in there. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but we have a blown seal right there. Let's see if it focuses. Right there, you can see just a little bit sticking up. So that seal that we need to get is a 99-343CR. So I'm gonna call our parts store and see if they got something. If not, we're gonna have to order it from, I don't know, somewhere online. We'll be able to swap that out, get this thing stuck back onto the tractor. So I've got the old seal out. It's cleaned out in there. Got the new seal here. That crossed to an SKF 8703. And it is indeed the right one. So I'm thinking it's going to be easiest if I mount this thing onto the tractor. And then I have plenty of room, so I think it'll be easier. Mount it, that way it's solid, and then I can drive that seal in there. And I mean, it's only a couple of bolts if I got to take it back off. It's not a huge deal. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing stuck on there. I'll probably just attach the hydraulic lines, make sure everything's out of the way. So then all I have to do, seal, a little distributor drive, and then deal with the rest of it. Okay, got that gasket in there. Oops, gotta make sure this is the right direction. Oh, we'll just go ahead and take all these caps out too. Oops, still have a little bit in there. So meshing it might be fun. Okay. I'm going to use these to line it up. I'm not going to use it to draw it in because that'll probably damage some stuff. Okay, that's mounted up. just want to make sure that our inner lip seal isn't folding over weird, but it's tucking in there like it needs to. And keep going. I can't stick my bolt on the end of this thing, so it's just floating on the driver. Still looks nice. Now we stick our distributor drive on there, and it is keyed so it only goes on one way. Uh-oh, I think I knocked the key loose. Oh, no. There. And then our screw. You know, I put the caps on these things, but the nice thing about it, still having some oil in there, is it flushes out any contaminants. So that's kind of cool. Now, oh, it's not too bad. Oh no, I gotta do that one first. Or I gotta stick it in there before I mount it up. Almost got it. Okay, and that takes care of this. So we're gonna call that an episode there. I'm not gonna do the distributor right now because I'm gonna do a separate video on timing everything. That's a little more involved just because we took all this stuff off. So we gotta make sure that we can get that distributor drive on the distributor side of it lined up right to make sure that our rotor points to the right plug on the cap. So we're just doing that in a separate video. But that takes care of this. We replaced that seal in here. Everything else is working. This pump didn't have any issues before the seal blew out. So the only thing that would be left to complete this project is just filling up the hydraulic system, and that's just, you know, back there. Part of regular maintenance, fairly easy. So if you enjoyed this episode working on this Farmall 300, make sure to subscribe if you're not. We got tons more content coming out on this thing here in the future. Hit that thumbs up, that like button, that really helps out the videos. Throw a comment down below if there's something else you want to see. Otherwise, we're going to keep plugging away on this thing. It was running pretty decent, but we're just going to take care of a couple more things before we're putting it away for the winter. So, thanks for watching Tractor Roy, and I hope I'll catch you on the next one.